So I recorded a previous video about why you should never ask for an officer's name or badge number. Now in that situation, I was referring to incidents where the situation is getting out of control, it's getting hostile, and you don't want it to get worse than it already is. Now I provided a solution on how to still get the officer's name and badge number without asking for it, but I seem to get quite a bit of questions about what the law says about police officers providing their name and badge numbers to you when you ask for it. So that is what I am going to explain today. What does the law say about police officers providing their name and badge numbers when you ask for it? So I am criminal defense attorney Hannah Akintoye, and this is a topic that I think a lot of people are a little bit confused about. So I'm here to provide a little bit of clarity on the subject. Now, usually, if there is a law governing what anybody should do, there's likely going to be a corresponding law that lists or mentions what the penalty is for violating that law. Now, as an attorney, I don't know that I've ever seen a law that governs how and when police officers are required to provide their name and badge number. Now, of course, this is going to vary based upon the state or jurisdiction that you are in. There may be a law out there. To date, I have not seen one. And I've not seen a penalty provided in the law for police officers not providing their name and badge number. So for instance, there's a law governing driving under the influence, right? You know that if you drive under the influence, there's likely going to be a penalty for it, meaning that you can go to jail, you may have to pay a fine, there may be classes that you may have to take, and this may actually all be prescribed in the law. But I've never seen a law that governs police officers and providing names and badge numbers. I haven't seen one that exists. So in this situation, what I do know exists is the fact that there are often policies and procedures in place that govern police officers providing their name and badge number to citizens when they ask for it. Now, there may also be like a general order that is provided by the chief of police in that particular police department as well, but they're all pretty much encompassed under the same thing: policies and procedures, things that police officers are required to do when they occupy that particular role. Now, similar to any other job, all jobs have policies and procedures, but what makes a policy or procedure effective is how and when that policy is enforced. So for instance, if you have a policy at your job that says you got to show up on time, I'm assuming that you want to show up on time to keep your job. But what if you are a person, or what if there's a person at your workplace that just shows up whenever they feel like it and nobody does anything about it? What happens in that situation? Similarly, with police officers, if there is a policy that governs providing names and badge numbers, but nobody enforces it, or nobody provides a punishment or a negative employment action for violating that policy, well, then the policy is essentially worthless. And so I don't know that I've ever seen a police officer get fired for not providing their name or badge number. It's really going to depend on how important it is for whatever the situation is that transpired. Now, of course, maybe if it is a situation that starts getting public attention, then maybe that police department may punish or provide some type of negative employment action against the officer that violated the policy. But otherwise, it really comes down to sergeants and other managers in police departments enforcing these procedures in order for it to be effective. So I hope that provides a little bit of clarity on how and if there are laws that really govern police officers providing their name and badge number. And hopefully it's a call to action for police departments to hold their police officers accountable to ensure that when citizens are asking for names and badge numbers, regardless of how hostile the situation is, that they truly and in fact provide it so that there is transparency and trust among citizens and police officers. So any questions, feel free to message me here or on my website, mydclaw.com, and I'm always happy to answer your questions and chat with you further. As always, take care.